Today we have three awesome guests from the Front Porch Wesley Palms community. Our first guest is Davis Park. He is the director of the Center for Innovation and Wellbeing. Welcome.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Ray Newman. She is a daughter of a resident at Wesley Palms Summer House, which is a memory care neighborhood. And our third guest is Janet Griffin. Welcome to all of you.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. We have assembled an amazing team from Front Porch and Wesley Palms. So let's dig right into this with you, Davis. So tell us about the Front Porch Center for Innovation and Wellbeing.
Sure. So the Front Porch Center for Innovation and Wellbeing is a center of excellence within Front Porch, and our mission is to explore innovative uses of technology to help empower individuals, especially as they age. And we're supported by foundations to help support our innovations that really look at how technology can enhance our lives and improve our well-being. We look at everything from sensor technologies to brain health games and applications to robotics. And so we look at a wide range of different kinds of applications and uses to help support the aging process. We are also really looking closely at these sorts of innovations and how they can support memory care programs, how they can support people with Alzheimer's, people with dementia. And it really is an exciting time right now as far as technology and aging is concerned, because there are all these really amazing kind of solutions that are coming out to market to help support us, every one of us.
I see you have something right to the right of you. Can you tell us a little bit about that beautiful seal?
Sure. This is Paro, and Paro is an interactive robot that was designed in the likeness of a baby harp seal. It's got 5 sensors on it. It responds to touch, and it responds to light and sound, to someone's voice.
So cute.
And yeah, it's really irresistible to put down. And we really want to look at how Paro, how devices like this can help support our memory care neighborhoods. And this device was actually specifically designed to be in memory care environments to help reduce anxiety levels and help as caregiving tools and address the needs among people who are in those kinds of environments and neighborhoods.
Well, that is really fabulous, and just that leads the Front Porch Center for Innovation and Wellbeing was awarded by Aging 2.0 the 2015 Pilot Pioneer Award for leading the way in piloting technology innovation. So congratulations.
Sure, thank you.
On that.
The piloting and testing out different kinds of innovations is just one part of what we do. It's an important part of what we do because we look at how these kinds of solutions can really make an impact in the communities that we're serving. And so in order for us to really understand like what the impact and effect is, we really need to kind of set up measures and evaluations and surveys to understand how they're making a difference within these kinds of communities. So piloting is one important part.
Paro is really...
Right. He's responding to my voice.
It's the coolest
right
thing.
At
it's
me.
just awesome. So let's find out a little bit about Summer House.
So Ray, you chose Summer House for your mom. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose Summer House for your mom?
I definitely can. Summer House is unique. The layout is in an open space with cottages lining the outside, and the center is the clubhouse and the dining area. So when a resident leaves their home, they come out onto their very own front porch with arbors, and then they can walk down any number of aisleways that is planted amazingly with butterfly bushes, fruit trees, incredible. It's absolutely stunning, and the reason that I chose it is because there's no stairs, there's no elevators. It's more of an outdoor life than if you live in a building.
Hallways.
No dark hallways. And the norm is to be outside rather than inside. We
Especially
go inside.
Here in San Diego,
yes,
right?
Yes, and the view is quite nice as well. One of the reasons that I picked Summer House, and it was absolutely essential to me, is that there's some kind of way to trigger a caregiver coming to my mother's room when she starts to arise off the bed. And I found that very few places actually had any technology or were willing to use it. And the technology at Summer House in the cottages is a sensor that actually kind of sends a beam so that she just has to sit up in bed and the caregiver is alerted and hopefully can get there before she tries to chug to the bathroom on her own.
So yeah, actually, and that's, thank you for reminding me of that, because the sensor technologies is actually a really important part. One of the important
Very.
innovations that we're really excited about, that's a solution that's called Quiet Care by Care Innovations. And what it does is that it puts passive sensors within residents, within the community, and what it does, it picks up whether or not someone's getting up, and there are no cameras or microphones, but just it detects movement and it learns these kinds of patterns, and it develops these algorithms based on this data that can predict or inform caregivers whether or not someone is, like, for example, going to the bathroom too often, which may indicate that there might be a health issue, or whether someone may have fallen because they weren't in bed for a certain amount of time. So the sensor technology is really important, but I also want to emphasize that these are all tools. These are all designed to help support the caregiving experience.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not to replace them, but really to help to enhance the quality of care and support the
quality
people
of
who are
life.
the quality of life, and to really support the community that's really trying to develop this kind of nurturing environment.
Janet, you've worked for many years in working with Alzheimer's. What makes Summer House so unique and special?
There's a genuine caring on the part of the staff there that I think is very unique. The staff partner together including the family members to help bring about activities and fun times and caring for the residents.
So what is your specific role?
Myself and my coworker, Dinda Spada, we like to get to know the residents and then provide them with things that they can enjoy, something like your mother or your mother-in-law that you are referring to. So find out a little bit about who that person is and what they like to do, what they did in their past, and what brings them pleasure. Something they've done before, something totally new like water colors.
You teach a class?
Well, it sort of evolved that way. I'm a watercolor artist, and I play ukulele, and my mother loves to sing. It seems like when everything else goes, they can still sing, and it's amazing. And so I come and I play ukulele, and we have this whole songbook now of songs that they can join in on. Some of them can read the words, and some of them can just, do whatever they can do. And we hand out instruments, but they all can keep rhythm. It's amazing. You think they're asleep, but you put an instrument in their hand and they're it's amazing.
It is.
And
It's
then
fabulous.
the watercolor, only one person had ever done watercolor, and she requested that somebody teach watercolor. So Janet was thoughtful enough to ask me, and my students have never done it. They will tell me 15 times during the hour that they absolutely cannot do this. And the pictures that they've come up with, they're amazing. They're doing amazing work.
So how does that go? I mean, how long a time do you spend with them?
We meet once a week for each one.
And they just love it.
They seem to really love it, yes. And I really enjoy them as well. They're doing things they've never done. And the product they're producing, they're very thrilled with, and so am I. And then we put them up. Janet was kind enough to put them up in Summer House so they're on display so that other people get to enjoy them as well.
Well, kudos for you to being actively involved with your mom and taking part in this. Obviously, a lot of people run from it, unfortunately, but Patty and I did get the total honor and privilege of touring Summer House. And
your mom's cottage.
Yeah, oh nice.
And,
it's
and
beautiful.
both of us are personally impacted by this terrible disease, and we have never seen anything so wonderful as that community, as Summer House is, and what it really can do for both the whole family. and it helps you as much as it helps your mom, I would say.
It does.
It seems like the Wesley Palms Summer House is just always thinking outside the box, and you are really open to new ideas and innovation. So that turns back to you, Davis. Tell us about where you see this going, the innovations that Wesley Palms Front Porch is bringing to the work at Summer House.
The kind of work that we're bringing to Front Porch communities like Wesley Palms and Summer House really is about how we can support the care environment there. We're always looking for new innovations and ideas and solutions to help support caregivers. And we really want to look at how these kinds of things can really help promote wellness and health and social activities and connectedness. And so Paro is just one of a number of different kinds of approaches that we're taking. Another example is music and memory, and we find that it's a very, very simple technology. It's like we're just basically using iPods, but really putting a personal take on them, and so developing curated, individualized playlists that really resonate with the individual. And so this program called Music and Memory, we found has been so impactful in just a really simple song that may reach deep down in someone that just really brings them back to life. They're suddenly like
I have a perfect
aware.
example of that. My mom's a sundowner, and we have an iPod with music from the 30s and the 40s because she loved the jitterbug. And she'll just be in her wheelchair, and we'll put the headphones on, and you'll just see her go. And she just thinks she's dancing like she used to.
It's transformative. Music is one of the most special like resonant kind of characteristics of what makes us like who we are. And so something as simple as like putting, something like band music from the 30s can really just kind of reach deep within inside our own memories and kind of change the way that we're suddenly socializing and interacting with others. Sundowning is a perfect example, like when it's a moment in a day when typically people with Alzheimer's and dementia start to get really anxious and nervous. Introducing Paro or a special playlist can really just ease that person's anxiety level. So we found that it's been really effective. I mean, and we're talking about like a really simple technology that doesn't require us to have to pop pills. So I mean, we're looking we're looking for interventions that don't require that kind of medicalization.
So Janet, all these innovations that Davis's department is coming up with, how do you incorporate them, and when do you incorporate them? Why do you incorporate them? He mentioned it's not only for the resident, but it's also for the caregivers. So that's a lot of work to try and manage all of that.
It can be a lot of work if you try and manage it all at one time. If they are feeling isolated, for example, or isolated or aggressive or anxious, we might introduce a Paro, which at Summer House at Wesley Palms we call Snowball. So we would introduce Snowball to a resident, for example, who doesn't want to, is isolated and doesn't want to come to the community club room. And we've seen that before. I can visualize in my mind the resident who had Paro in her lap and started petting and talking, and just really, her mood just really changed. And she was much more willing to talk to the staff members after that, the caregivers or the family members even, and perhaps willing to come into the dining room and have a meal with the group. So it's really, that might be one way we would use it and how we would use it. And of course the music and memory we can use on groups, at a group social hour, or for example the music and memory through headphones with a personalized playlist we would put on Irene, who's Ray's mother, during the watercolor class, because Ray no longer paints. But she does want to join the group, and her daughter's there teaching, so she just sits again and sort of bops along to Frank Sinatra in her
right on.
In her through her headphones, and she's outdoors, and she's she just really grooving, and enjoying it while the watercolor class is going on. And so she's happy and well adjusted, and so are the other residents who are painting. So we don't use all of the technologies on all of the residents at all times, but maybe one at a time, like when it's indicated by the resident.
Awesome.
Well, I can say I appreciate Front Porch really being, I mean, you really are the leading edge of innovation and well-being here in certainly San Diego. I know you're throughout the state, wherever Front Porch is located. I know you guys really honor the idea of quality of life and taking technology and not just using technology for technology's sake, but how does that implement and how does that help the caregiver, how does that help the resident have the best and highest quality of life is really, truly honorable, and it's wonderful.
And ultimately, it helps the family because peace of mind is huge.
Right, and it is a difficult time, to say the very least. And Ray, we thank you so much for doing this. It's not easy to talk about this under any circumstances. And for both of you, thank you so much for being here and joining us. And Paro, I'm after you. I may have to take that. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Ron Greenwald, Senior Stay or Go. We will be